Sensationally silver, because you are.
Welcome, everyone, to Sensationally Silver, A State of Mind, conversations with extraordinary, ordinary persons of age, people who are going to bring you information, inspiration, and validation. Join us. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sensationally Silver, A State of Mind, conversations with extraordinary, ordinary persons of age. My guest today is Fredericke, and I met her in a very unusual way. I was at Pierre Lafon's, which is a beautiful shop in Montecito, and she was in front of the store doing someone's makeup. And she had a card there, and I took that card and took it home and called her because I wanted to talk to her about how she ended up doing this sort of thing in such a lovely public way. It was amazing to see her sitting there with her client fixing that face and making it look better. So Fredericke, welcome to Sensationally Silver.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, because I'm hoping that you're going to tell me and my audience how we can look our very best, what you know about skin and aging and things that maybe we don't know that we're not doing or using or whatever. So, yes, you can do that for us.
Yes. Yes. I
Okay.
think I can be very helpful in that regard.
Okay.
Um, just to go back a little bit to the very beginning. So I started in the 80s, and I was actually discovered in my little hometown in Austria by a photographer who was a very world-renowned photographer who won world prizes from Nikon in Japan. And he stopped me and he said, "You have that look, you have everything. Can you work with me?" So we started working together in the very beginning in the 80s. It was a completely breakthrough. Until then, the models did their own makeup, and then it started to split. It became suddenly very professional. I was a hairstylist, and now a makeup artist was required, and a stylist was required. That wasn't the case before. So that's the time frame where I started out. And to make a long story short, so I worked, and then I worked with him in styling and everything. So we created big photo shoots and all of that professionally already. And and then I said I want to specialize in makeup. And a very good friend of a very good friend of mine, who was a world's best makeup artist at the time, his name was Dick Peters. And I asked him, he lived in Holland, in Amsterdam. And I said, "Could you give me just some private lessons?" And he said, "Oh, I don't really do that, but okay, come over." So long story short, we met in Amsterdam. I flew there. I paid a lot of money, and he gave me private lessons. So he gave me the tools, um, to real professional tools, how to create a beautiful makeup, because you can't really find it. Yeah, in it's very difficult to find. It like 20% is real good and 80% is very mediocre. Yeah, it's all fine, but just so it had an extreme professional touch. And he taught me the rules. Like, for example, you never think in color, you think in black and white. You think like a photographer, you think in shades and light. You don't think in color. Color is irrelevant in regards to apply a beautiful structure and shading a face. So keeping that in mind, I had to do my makeup. We ran through the 10-day course. He gave me all private lessons. And in the end, he said something to me which didn't even, he said, "I wanted to tell you, you are really good with natural makeup. You can create amazing skin." I wasn't even aware that was a specialty. I just did what I liked. So fast forward, I started then working, of course, professionally as a makeup artist in the fashion industry. And And then many fast forward 25 years, I became then very well known in the industry to create beautiful skin. Like even when we did high-end photo shoots, I worked with the supermodels and celebrities, whatever. But I always, regardless how heavy the makeup was, I created that luscious, luminous skin. And then in 2002, I said, I want to be more at home. I don't want to travel so much anymore. And I created a makeup line that suited my needs because I had the feeling I can't find any products that I would put on my skin. For example, I never wore foundation or powder, nor do I wear it today. But we have to create a canvas, a beautiful, I see the skin as a canvas and it has to be illuminated. That's the most important thing for me. And then you can go heavy eye, red lips, whatever, but it's always starts with the skin. And then fast, and my makeup line is created exactly in in context with that mindset. Yeah, I don't have foundation, I don't have powder, I have a concealer, and the way I apply it is very skillful. So it's all about the skills and the expertise that I gained over 25, 30 years in the industry. And then I minimized it all and bottled it in in a very usable, consumer friendly way. So yeah.
One of the things that fascinated me when I saw you doing what you were doing, and I didn't get to stay and watch, which probably would have been rather rude anyway, because here was this person and you had something lovely going on with that person. But your card said, wake up, makeup. And I thought, oh gosh, that's what we always want. We want to look wonderful when we wake up without all the effort. So that's part of what you're saying, I think, Fredericke, is that
Exactly.
you help people achieve that glowing look without a bunch of
Without looking like you put much effort into it. My clients actually call it an espresso of makeup. So the look is just here to enhance your own beauty, and the light and the glow will accomplish that. Yeah. Yeah, it's you will, but when I'm what I have on now is actually my signature look. Yeah, and I use no foundation, no powder. um I can show the things if you want what I did. It takes me 3 minutes. But the skin, I always say that you whatever you do, you have to start with your skin. And when I say skin in regards to my technique, is it's not the foundation, of course, it depends which foundation. I don't use foundation, but I have a great product that makes your own skin look better. So it will look like yourself, but better. And now, fast forward, if you're 18, you can do anything you want. Run with it, run free, go wild. If you're 40, it starts already change. So my clients are, 35, 40, they already starting to change their philosophy and their technique. They're coming to me for that. I need to change something. Everything looks stale. Everything looks harsher. And more, older you get, it's actually interesting. It's not that we require less makeup. I actually need more makeup now than I did 30 years ago, but the technique changes and the texture changes. So it becomes a layering of glow aspects. Yeah, it's like you layer like an. I have this glow serum which enhances the skin, so it's not just makeup or skincare, it's a hybrid. So it has to be both anyway for me, because also every product needs to multitask. So I can create a beautiful complexion with two products. Yeah, I can do it. And you will look like, wow, what just happened? Yeah, and I have examples when it depends. Yeah, so it's always the texture, where you put the product, and but the texture of the product is key. If it's too dry, if it's too stale, it will create a much harsher look than if you just have the. It also depends what you want, of course. But my line, my signature look is you glow from the inside out. You look like yourself, but better. And yeah,
I heard someone say that as we get older, we can't get away with cheaper clothes, that we have to buy more expensive clothes because when we're younger, just as you were saying about makeup with young girls, we can get away with anything. We can just play with makeup and do all sorts of fun things. But as life goes on, we need more help. And it sounds like that attention needs to be paid to what products we use on our face. You're saying it's all about that, about bringing out the best in our own skin and our own appearance. And that's going to take
it's
some care and some concentration, right?
yeah. I would say exactly. I would say it's about enhancing more than creating. Like, when we are younger, we create characters. Right? In a movie, we create all kind of fantasies, and it looks great. But when we reach a certain age, it's more like an enhancement. And one can still do heavy eyeshadow and red lipstick. That's very individual. It can still be carried on. That's not what I mean. But the skin itself needs to look luminous and radiant and transparent. More you pile on, it just will look more dated and will pile on, years. And there are some simple tricks, to actually do that. Very minor adjustments, which will help to get that feeling of luminosity, of usefulness. Yeah, useful.
So, are there things you can tell us and show us? Because
Mhm.
all of us are going to get to sit down with you, Fredericke, and have you help us make ourselves look our best. Are there some lovely ideas and techniques that you can impart?
Yeah, I can. So okay, I have this incredible. Okay, I have one. Okay, let's start there. Which is sorry, this is glad. The sheer base I created 2000 in 2002. That's the one bestseller I cannot keep in stock. It's one color for all skin tones, and like a, you massage it in like a cream. So you would say it's a tinted moisturizer, and it's just enough to give your skin that sun-kissed look, but it's not too much. Yeah. So I walk that fine line of, so it's not nothing, but also then it doesn't become too much, because then it already covers all the life off. Yeah. So the pores and everything are then how shall I say, covered up. You can't, there has to be a luminosity somewhere. So that is a great prep for the canvas, like for the whole face. And then you can go from there. I The other very important thing that I think is, which is also underestimated, is where do I put my blush? Like if I would have one product besides a glowing skin complexion, which I cannot emphasize enough, it has to start from there. But then the second step would be, okay, let's just do this here. I have this here now, doesn't matter which shade. You use a cream blush and you apply it on the apple. So that would be just, then you mimic and recreate just that sun kissed, like when you had a walk on the beach. Yeah, when we really look at our best. We have no makeup on, we have nothing on, but we have, it looks like we have blood circulation, we look very healthy, we look fresh. It cannot be defined by makeup, but it is, you look healthy and fresh. And in order to achieve that, and I do the other thing too, so don't get me wrong, but just as a second step, which is also a very useful tool, also it takes off immediately lack of sleep. Like if you travel, you are jet lagged, you put a little blush on the apple of the cheek and smudge it in. It has to be cream. Yeah, so the powder won't work. Yeah, so now you have a natural glowing complexion with the sheer base. Then you just put this on, and voila. Most of the time, I just swatch it then on my lips, and then I'm done. So now I'm look already fresh. That those two would be an instant wake up call to your appearance.
I love that you use the term sun-kissed, because that is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Is that extra glow that you get when you've spent the day at the beach and you've been walking and playing and in the water and all that. It's such an appealing look, and it's so natural. It doesn't look like makeup at all. It looks like sun just kissed you.
Sun kissed you. Exactly.
Yes, and that's what we're after, it sounds like.
Yeah,
right?
it's all, oh yeah, sun kissed is my signature look. And you can create it with any, doesn't have to be a bronzy shade. You can create it with a rosy shade, with a nude shade. So it's really not about that. Again, it comes back to basic texture. The texture is real key, and where do you put it? Yeah, so you put it on the apple of the cheek, and the texture has to have a certain radiance incorporated in the product. And by that, I don't mean the shimmer of a powder or so. It's just not doing, because the powder itself will kill it off. It creates a wall. Instead of looking, instead of getting that just lit from within look, you create a harsher look, right? The powder just creates a barrier.
Okay, so instead of glowing through, you're kind of masking everything.
You're masking it up.
But
perfectly good.
Fredericke, not everybody's happy with the skin texture that they have as they age.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that?
Okay, so you can, of course, these days now, there are so many also lightweight foundation products. If you really have to go and create one film over your face, if like one shade, I don't know. But what you can do is, if you create this luminous texture, like with a great glow product, like I did with the sheer base, or this even better, this one has no color, but it's enriched. It's a glow serum, which just, the skin glows up like a light bulb. It's just amazing. It creates baby feeling skin, and just the most amazing, gorgeous product. Then you can use, like what I do is I use spot concealing. That means I have a concealer, and that I have in three different shades. So it's not one color fits all. So you have to be a little bit more nuanced. But then you create it first, the glowing texture, and then use a concealer and put it where you need it. So you can then say, I have dark under circle, then you apply it here. It's also a trick. You don't apply the concealer here, because here you have the glow. It's another mistake that you find in the department store. You apply this concealer always on the inside of the eye, because that is the darkest spot in your face. And that 99% needs some camouflage. So you apply it here, and then you leave this part here glowing. You see my skin is glowing here. I just have the enriched glow serum on. And then you can say, okay, I need more coverage on the T-zone or whatever, whatever you want to even out, you can do that with a concealer. And that blends then seamlessly into the other product, and together they become one.
So it's not about masking.
Yeah,
It's about subtle and blending and enhancing what we have.
correct. Exactly right. And it's very easy to achieve, but again, everything comes back to the texture of the product. You can't achieve that result with all the products. They are way too thick, too harsh, it's just so you need to find a perfect, creamy consistency, a product that accomplishes that task to camouflage it, but yet leave the skin breathable so there's still life shining through, as you said before.
Okay.
It's always there, it comes back to, like if I would do the enriched cream, which I did, I have nothing else on. I did I did a blush. I mean, I did a little bit more than a blush. I can show you, and then the other thing is the concealer. With those three things, you can create a very even, beautiful, polished look without looking masked up.
Fredericke, what are some of the worst mistakes that we make regarding makeup? Like, well, and not just makeup, but bringing out our best. Do you have things that you recommend to people who seek your help about diet, about
Okay.
exercise? What else do people need to address?
Well, to look your best, I think mind and body goes together, right? So you have also to make sure your mind keeps sharp and engaged. Um, I am I'm a vegetarian since I'm 19. So I was way ahead of the curve. Yeah. I was in microbiotic when I was 19. And I do fish and everything, but I haven't eaten meat in forever. Um, so I started with 19 just because it suited me. I liked it. I felt really good. Exercise is super important. And older we get, it depends, of course, on the capacity and whatever possibility one has. I personally, I'm a swimmer. I swim every day. I swim laps. So I don't start my day unless I finished my 25 minutes of laps. And then this does it for me. Walking is another thing. Like if it's swimming or heavy workouts, I'm not a workout person, me personally. I did yoga. I learned it in the academy in Rome. I went to the Academy of Yoga there. I had an excellent yoga teacher who came actually from an ashram in India. So I got the real transmission of Hatha Yoga. But I kind of gave it up. It became a little bit too boring for me. I replaced it with swimming and then just do some stretches. Yeah. So I kind of changed along the way. Older I get, I adjust to my situation, to my needs. So diet, I think, is really good. Moderation in alcohol, I think it's very important. Yeah. Um, you don't have to overdo anything, but just keep a middle ground. Learning a language when you get older is fantastic. Keep engaged mentally. That's something for me also very, very important. I learned French and so keep mind and body in a and motion. Motion is lotion. So keep on walking and eat good food. Eat less than more because it's like I know we all love to eat, but less is better actually.
I had someone recently say to me, you look really good for your age. He said, I want to know what you're eating and drinking. And I said, it's probably more what I'm not eating and drinking because that's it. I mean, we have to be careful not to be poisoning our system. And what you're saying, motion is lotion, and that old phrase from the 60s, use it or lose it. We have to keep moving on all levels. And
keep engaged. Keep engaged.
keep engaged.
Keep engaged. And whatever you can do, like if, whatever your physical, mental, or, capacity is, whatever you can do, 5 minutes a day of just learning a few new words, reading, stay mentally engaged and physically too. You can even do an exercise in a chair, right? Just do something.
I've said this before on this podcast because I heard this in the 80s from a woman who was an exercise instructor. Back then, it wasn't quite as popular as it is now. But she said, if you're doing an exercise that you don't like, it's actually bad for your body. So find the things you love doing in your movement. Like you found swimming and you love that. I know my daughter loves to do the hula hoop. And
I did this as a child. She does it great.
Yeah, she just loves it. She says it's like a meditation for her.
Yeah.
And so we find what we love. It's not meant to be punishment. We're going to punish ourselves into looking good. No, no, no. It's the other way. Enjoy, 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 and literally bring in joy into the body, into the mind.
Yes. Honor yourself with that. It should be a gift to you and not a rigid structure. It's not a punishment, it's a gift. So, and it comes with the joy. Find something you like, it doesn't matter what, and do that, even if just, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it really pays off. I don't know. You have to stay engaged and you have to put some effort in it in order to age gracefully. Yeah.
That's the price we pay all through life. We have to do something in order to feel better. So tell me this is more personal now. This isn't so much about makeup. Fredericke, tell me what's the best part of your life right now, what you're enjoying the most or embracing the most.
My wisdom.
Yeah.
I meditate every day, but I meditate since 1985. I became a Buddhist, and this is my life source and my real platform for everything I do. And when you do things a long time, you start to see results, and I enjoy those results. I enjoy myself in the place where I am at. Also because myself doesn't require so much attention and effort. Therefore, I have more space for others. I can listen. I can give, and it's happiness. So I am not needy in that regard. I need nothing. Yeah, the less of needing things to me. And somehow, in a very ironic way, it continues with my minimal makeup approach, and that seems to be my life journey. Like, do the things, find essentially effective and valuable things, do those, then let go and find a cure for cancer or something else, and do something meaningful for others.
So find your gift and share it. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah. Not only the gift, it can also be true if you're a makeup artist and I meet my clients. I love that aspect. I love to give and make them feel really confident, but also in an easy way. So they are not stressing out over, no, everyone has said less. Yeah. We just do it in a certain way. Then you don't need much. They are loving it. I have my clients, it's over 20 years. And they come back. And because for that reason, it's really useful. Yeah. So having not only my makeup, that I share with others. This is my expertise. I transformed it, and then I said I have to bring something to Main Street because there was no product I liked. I got to share my expertise in a way that is useful for regular people. I left the glamour world. It wasn't interesting to me anymore. It's like, hey, they have all the help, they have everything, they don't need me. So I transformed it and I brought it to the streets. That's where my real joy came in regard to the makeup. Um, but then also on your personal level, it's so nice to needing less.
Yeah.
Less food even. I mean, just less attention to myself. I'm not so important anymore. Yeah. Okay.
So, Fredericke, a final word to our audience.
Mm.
What message do you want to leave people with from you to them?
Be happy. Be happy. Be happy today, right here, right now. Be grateful. And out of that gratefulness, there will come a lovely happiness. And then share that.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for all the gifts that you've given today, the wisdom, the advice, the techniques, and the inspiration.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was lovely, lovely having a conversation with you. And the best of luck to you and Piper and your family and your audience.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being with us today. We'll see you next time. Great news, everybody. Our premier hair care product line, Sensationally Silver, is now available on Amazon. You can order it so easily, you can get it so quickly, and you can be so sensationally silver.
Sensationally silver, because you are.